Across the county, high school football players are back on the field. It's the first day of practice since a judge allowed youth sports to resume. The challenge is facing the children as they prepare to compete once again. Plus, a third COVID vaccine is expected to be approved by tonight. The deal the governor just announced to bring doses to California. And the happy homecoming as the USS Nimitz arrives in San Diego. The impact the pandemic is having on emotional family reunions.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
We begin with breaking news on the eve of the county opening up vaccinations to a wider group of people. It's shutting down the Petco Superstation once again. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt, and the county says it's because of a severe shortage of doses of the Moderna vaccine nationwide. The closure could last well into next week. Saturday is the first day the county is offering vaccines for teachers, food and agriculture workers, as well as law enforcement. The county says teachers will not be impacted because it's through a different system, and any sites that offer the Pfizer vaccine are not impacted, and anyone with an appointment during the canceled time will get a message through MyChart and automatically be rescheduled as soon as UCSD has those vaccines. High school football is back in San Diego today, the first official day of practices since the pandemic started, and it's only happening because a local coach took the state to court. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer De La Cruz is live outside Scripps Ranch High School. Jen, there's a lot for these teams to do before their first games.
That's right, Kimberly. In a normal season, they would have several months to prepare for their first game. Their first game now is just 2 weeks away. We're not going onto school property for COVID safety reasons, but this is where they will have their first official practice of the year. Up until this point, they've been allowed to do conditioning, but not with any equipment, no contact, and not even a football. Both players and coaches I spoke to today say this day could not come soon enough. For Scripps Ranch football coach Marlon Gardnera, Friday's practice already feels like a victory.
I couldn't be more excited. It's adrenaline, nervous energy. It's huge.
But the start of the season didn't come easy. It wasn't until 1 week ago that a judge ruled high school and youth sports can resume play in San Diego County despite not meeting requirements set by the state. A season that would normally start in fall is just now getting underway.
We gave out equipment yesterday, and the number of smiles on their faces. It's exciting.
Gardnera says his team has been meeting for conditioning through the pandemic with COVID safety protocols in place, but today will be much different.
We didn't bring footballs to conditioning because the football was an item where you could transfer it from one person to the next. That feeling of team, it really wasn't there. This will be actual football starting today.
With a shorter season, there's more work to be done. Their first game is in just 2 weeks.
We go in helmets for 3 days. By Tuesday, we'll be in full pads, and there'll be full contact. You're practicing for an opponent now, and that really does change the mood.
The judge's ruling states all sports have to be treated equally, which means despite state guidance, indoor sports can also start their seasons. Practice here is set to get going in about an hour or so. As of right now, parents are not allowed to come to school to watch practice, but coach tells me he does anticipate parents and immediate family are able to come and watch their first game. Reporting live from Scripps Ranch High School, Jennifer De La Cruz, ABC 10 News.
It's a beautiful afternoon for it. Thank you, Jen. Any minute now, the FDA is expected to authorize emergency use of the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine to battle the coronavirus pandemic. Within the last 2 hours, the vaccine advisory group recommended the approval. This vaccine is a little different. It only requires one shot. It does not need special refrigerators. The vaccine was found to be 72% effective in the U.S. Governor Gavin Newsom says he already has a deal to acquire more than 1 million doses in the next 3 weeks. The first shots would be given next week. The hope is the addition of a third effective vaccine will help get more people vaccinated more quickly. Also tonight, the House is expected to vote on President Biden's COVID relief bill. It would include $1,400 direct payments to many Americans and bigger payments for families with children. There are billions of dollars for vaccine distribution and COVID testing. There would also be a boost to unemployment benefits and a doubling of the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Of course, all of that would need to go through the Senate. It's expected to be a battle to get it passed.
White House leaders are calling on businesses to help promote public health messages around COVID and to reduce barriers to getting workers vaccinated. They unveiled a new partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and Hispanic, Black, and Asian business leaders today. They're asking business leaders to require masks and social distancing if they are not doing that already, and they also want businesses to make a plan to get workers vaccinated. That could include giving them time off or even extra pay to make it happen, which some companies are already doing. This week, the mayor of New York City announced residents will need to continue wearing 2 masks until at least June. This comes after the CDC's recommendations to double mask. This now may leave some wondering when it'll finally be safe to stop wearing masks, especially now that more people are getting vaccinated. But physicians say it's not really about the number of people getting vaccinated. It's really about the COVID positivity rate in the community.
If you're less than 5%, that's kind of been a goal that we've had to kind of begin to limit restrictions a bit. So if you're in an area that is 10%, 20%, 25% positivity rate, that may be a community where you want to double mask.
Now, for things to be more like, say, the old normal, well, there needs to be a positivity rate of less than 1% throughout the entire country, or the number of daily deaths needs to be 100 or fewer. This is comparable to what we see during the flu season normally. Doctors are optimistic that we can get to those numbers, but variants definitely could change some things.
That's why it's going to be real important when your time does come up to get that vaccine, to get it as soon as you can. The more people that get vaccinated, the quicker that gets vaccinated, the less virus that's in the community pool and the less ability it has to mutate.
Doctors say that is possible for all numbers to go down around the end of this year, but it won't mean that it'll be safe to stop wearing masks by then.
San Diego Congressman Darrell Issa is demanding President Biden end mask mandates for people who are vaccinated. In a statement, Issa says, quote, insisting that Americans continue to socially distance, wear masks, avoid restaurants, and even forego gathering with family following vaccination is nothing less than demoralizing to the nation. Issa also criticized Dr. Anthony Fauci, saying that his public statements, quote, amount to little more than unfocused guesswork and rank speculation. A judge says gyms in San Diego cannot reopen inside. 25 local gyms and fitness centers joined forces last year to sue. They say gyms can reopen safely by limiting capacity and requiring masks. They also argue that forcing them to close violated free speech. The federal judge rejected the free speech argument. She also ruled the gyms did not prove that it was in the public interest to allow indoor operations during the pandemic. No word yet if the gyms will appeal.
We haven't seen her for, about a year, so we're happy she's home.
An emotional and happy homecoming today. The USS Nimitz aircraft carrier pulled into San Diego after a deployment that lasted 10 months. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner reveals how the pandemic is taking it longer now for families to reunite.
We were hoping that they would see us.
At Harbor Island Friday, DJ O'Grady watched the USS Nimitz return with her daughter on board.
Oh my gosh, it was so exciting. We were taking pictures, we were watching the live video cam.
After being gone for 10 months, the Navy warship sailed into the San Diego Bay. 5,000 sailors and Marines were assigned to the carrier strike group, the first to set sail after the onset of the COVID-19 crisis. Service members are returning to a very different home from the one they left. A new president, hundreds of thousands more dead from the virus. Friday afternoon, commanding officers spoke to reporters by phone.
This deployment during a global pandemic certainly had its share of unique challenges.
Extreme safety measures were reportedly taken, which we're told resulted in a deployment that was free from any COVID-19 cases.
You know that we did a few safe haven port visits in Guam, in Oman, and in Bahrain to get a chance for some repairs and some resupply and a little bit of time for rest and relaxation for the crews. And we executed those within a bubble and were able to successfully prevent COVID infection to any member of the strike group throughout the entire deployment.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see her because of COVID.
O'Grady's daughter, who serves as a medic, will stay on the ship with many other service members when it leaves San Diego for its final destination in its home port located in Washington. But her aunt says they will plan a trip to see her very soon.
It's exciting that they're all home and they're all safe, and for all the families that have been praying for them for a whole year.
Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Scary moments today when a fire broke out near Mast Park in Santee. Sky 10 flew over as a helicopter made a drop on the area just after noon. Crews raced to clear people out of the Carlton Hills Boulevard Park as a precaution. Fortunately, they were able to stop the flames quickly. Only about a 100-foot by 100-foot area burned. No one was hurt.